3.
Now we're live! Erin Kennedy. The general craziness of it, the impact on your life.
We have gone through so many stories and we said, you know what? This should not be kept to the two of us. Megan.
Erin!
How are you?
Good. Hello, live peoples in the world.
Hello, everyone. Yeah, we decided to go live. We don't have any watchers yet, but hopefully that will change soon.
I know. Wait a second.
Because we wanted to go a little bit rogue, because we wanted to make sure that we extended our message to all of our fans and audiences on all of our platforms. So that's why we're on Facebook, mine and Megan's, and our YouTube, because we want to do, as the kids call it these days, an AMA.
Yes. So here's the thing. Erin and I are going to be turning some little YouTube shorts and posting some stuff on Instagram, where instead of doing like the long form stuff that we've done, we want to have a couple like little quick short snippets of question and answer. So like, what's the craziest thing you used to eat? And that kind of thing, like those little answers. So what we want basically is for people to tell us, you know, like, what are those tiny things that you always wondered? And we can turn that into a YouTube short, et cetera, et cetera.
And we'll do a separate episode, which would just be AMA entirely. And I should probably have the comments open now as well.
Yeah, I just did it.
Hello, everybody.
Need questiones, people, questiones.
But I just sent Megan my response to craziest thing I ate, and she judged me.
You knew I was going to judge you, Erin. You already knew.
I knew. Here's a sneak peek. It's raw eggs. But back then I would do it in a recipe because it's just, you know, it's one of those things.
I mean, I know it's supposed to be
Easier.
good for you, blah, 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 but I just can't get over the raw thing of it and the like salmonella thing. And I'm sure there's, you know, but.
I never got salmonella. Salmonella? That was one of those things I actually never liked to say it on the news because I didn't know if it was or not.
Funny. Oh, you know what I always used to hate and I still can't say it right? Deluge. For some reason, it didn't ever want to come out right, especially if I was saying it like while like we were busy and things were going on and I'm like, dang it, it's raining hard.
I would say deluge. And you know, it's funny because I had this conversation with my meteorologist in Lubbock because he was saying it differently. I was like, are you really allowed to say it that way? And it's one of those words that you can actually pronounce many different ways.
It's deluge, deluge, and I don't know, and I never knew. And so I just didn't like to say it, quite frankly.
Just say a lot of rain.
Basically. I'm drinking like water today. Do you see this?
I had tea, but it's gone. My tea is gone.
Oh.
So anyway, please leave us in the comments any questions that you have about us specifically,
whatever
or
it
about
is,
the industry, anything. People you would like to have on as guests. We have an interview coming up with my former news director.
I'm excited about that. I'm interested. I want to know and understand more about like, what is a news director really thinking? How much warning do they have before they actually have to fire somebody? Like, because sometimes it comes down from above. So how long are you pretending like everything's okay before you gotta really do it? You know what I'm saying?
He's probably the only news director. Well, I have a couple who I could actually grill and ask honest questions of.
Yeah.
And expect an honest answer.
Yeah. Which, I mean, listen, I'm just curious because there's a lot of things I wondered like for my entire career. And I want to ask those questions to somebody who really knows, like, how much are they really saying? It's probably not all appropriate, is it? And then you have to make it seem appropriate, or how does that work? All that stuff.
My first question that I want to ask him is, what is the oddest conversation or most uncomfortable that you've had to have with somebody on air because of like their looks changing or some contract violation? That would suck.
I'm going to need to fire you for that time you were caught peeing in the park. Okay, thank you. Like, did that ever happen? Maybe.
That sounds rather specific, Megan.
It never happened to me.
I know one news director who I think I told you had to have a very awkward conversation with a woman whose skin was breaking out all of a sudden because she went on some kind of a birth control, and that's an uncomfortable situation.
It is, because you know they're already conscious of it and probably trying. It's like, I remember as a kid, my mom used to be like, why did you lose that? And I'm like, I didn't mean to. Like, You know what I mean?
Oh,
My
why'd you
point
lose
is,
your mittens?
why is your face breaking out? I don't want it to. Like, what are you? Where is that going?
Stop.
Where's
Yeah,
that going?
so please leave questions and comments. We have some other big recognizable names who everybody will know in different markets, which we're excited about
Yeah, I'm
as
excited
well.
about that too because I think, I mean, I worked in quite a few markets. You've worked in quite a few markets. And so I think each one has their own kind of individual personality. And it's interesting if you live in that particular market or if you don't to understand what's going on behind the scenes and in front of the camera because of what's happening behind the scenes.
And then just in case people haven't watched it yet, our interview with Yasmin last week was really great.
I miss her so much. Like
Mhm.
she's so fun and honest. And I think the one thing that I take away from Yasmin is we've talked about this before, but sometimes when somebody's on camera, it's just they're so natural and they're so good. It just seems effortless and easy. And you're just kind of like a little bit in awe of them. And I mean, even if you also are good, you're still like, dang, they're good. I
Yep.
always felt that way about Yasmin. Like,
Yeah,
especially watching
exactly.
her in front of like the helicopter, and especially because at first she was new to the area. So that's an even bigger hurdle to jump, you know?
Well, we
That ain't
all were
easy.
at
I've
some
done that
point. Yeah.
before. I
Yeah.
used to have to say when I first moved to Miami, there was a sponsor for our 7-day planner, which was a Native American reservation down there. The
Mhm.
Miccosukee Indian Reservation is what it was called. And so we had to give the temperature at Miccosukee every time we put our map up because they were sponsoring the 7-day or whatever. And I remember being like, oh God. And it's fine. And it's not even a hard word to say. But at first, when you're brand new and you're trying to remember everything else, and then you have to say Miccosukee, you're like, oh God, oh God, oh God. And it came out right. So
In Rhode Island, which was obviously Native American grounds,
yeah.
there were so many American Indian names, and one of them was the tribe Wampanoag. But for a while, they went by Wampanoag, but all the
Oh.
roads were Wampanoag. So you would have to distinguish between the name of the road being Wampanoag and the tribe being Wampanoag. And then I think they finally were just like, all right, everybody's messing it up. We'll just do Wampanoag.
Well, you remember, I mean, it's not anything that okay, it's not anything I had to say. It's something I liked to say. You remember, I always used to like to talk about places that are like super duper cold or whatever, like Yakutsk or,
Yakutsk. Mhm.
yeah. Well, so they changed the name of Barrow, Alaska a couple years back to its native original name of Utqiagvik. And I was always like, yes, I'm going to say it on TV. I just, I get so excited about those like cool places like that or places that are really cold or whatever. But I got
Mhm.
pumped and I thought, what if you lived in Barrow and then all of a sudden you're Utqiagvik? I'm pretty sure you can pronounce it, but what if you what if you struggle? Where do you live? That place with the U.
Yeah, and that's happening all over. But yes. Okay, so we're getting a couple of questions. So we are not
Mhm.
going to answer these now, but we will. So from Brian,
Yeah,
dumbest idea or request you did you receive from a news director?
well, that's a
Great
good one.
question. We will answer that one.
Yep.
Were there certain times of the year, not with certain stories or interview subjects, where it felt like it was time to take things to a different level? For example, during sweeps week.
Good question.
Yes.
The
Spoiler
answer
alert.
is
Yes.
100%. 100%.
Ving Rhames. I don't know who that is.
He's an actor. I don't know Ving. I don't think
We
so.
can ask.
We can
We'll see.
try. We can try.
When you move from market to market so much, how does that affect your family? Holy moly. Does
Oh,
your spouse have to find a new job? Do you buy a new home?
yeah, that's a good question.
It is rather traumatic, Carla, and a great question.
It's never easy, and we will
And
definitely.
we did touch on that. If you want to do a deep dive back into an older episode, we did Married to TV News, where we went into
Yeah,
that.
but I don't think we got into the whole thing about it, and, like, I won't go into great well, we're gonna do these in shorts, so I can do a little detail here that we probably wouldn't put in that, but, like, you also when you're negotiating your contract and you're moving, sometimes it's a point of contention whether or not they're gonna pay for your move or not, so keep in mind that sometimes you also need to pay for the move, sometimes you don't, but
I
think
never
about
had
it.
to pay for a move.
No, I didn't either, but a couple contracts, that was like a little bit of a sticking point of like, "Well, we don't usually pay for the move." Okay, well, we need that. You know what I mean? Like
I
that
think
kinda
the
came up.
only contingency I ever had with that was we'll pay for the move up to X number of dollars. And I think in Chicago, it might have been 7,000.
Okay.
But if you leave less than a year into your contract, you have to pay it back.
Really? I never had
Mhm.
that one, but I remember I was always like, "I'm gonna need a full pack and move."
Oh yeah, those were nice, weren't
I
they?
need the princess treatment. Okay, thanks.
Oh my gosh, then
Oh,
you come
yeah.
in and everything is done. Okay.
Yeah.
What do you make of TikTok videos from talent? As a former producer, it tells me they have too much time on their hands.
You know what? I feel like there's a push for it right now, and I feel like if you're gonna play the game and keep your news director happy, you probably in this day and age, you need to do that. Because I know they're looking at your social media, like how active are you on Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, and it really depends on what they're
That's a great
valuing.
question for my news director coming up.
Yeah, we're gonna
That's a
ask that
great
for
question.
sure.
Okay.
Yeah.
Um,
Thank
thank you.
you.
Yeah, so we have him in just a little bit, but I think these questions are great. And then we have
Okay.
some others that we've seen come in for a while.
Yeah,
The
and if
one,
you're watching this later, you can always just I mean, we're gonna go back and look at
yeah,
this to figure out what we're
comment.
doing for
Mhm,
our shorts.
mhm.
So you'll find that coming up. We'll post them on Instagram and stuff too, but like also just check on our YouTube because listen, I told Aaron, I was like, feel like we need to do shorts because my kids are constantly watching those. They're into them.
Mhm. How
Uh,
involved are you in negotiating a contract? Is it mostly left to your agent? Great
yeah.
question. I'd
Yeah.
love to have my former agent on too.
Ooh.
I
Sometimes
think
they
we've been blackballed by some
maybe.
networks already, though. We know we've heard no.
Oh, where they don't want people to come on or
They
whatever.
don't want their current employees talking to us.
Yeah,
Yeah.
current employees, I get it though, because they're afraid they're gonna say something they shouldn't say or whatever, and I get that because sometimes there are things you don't want out there, and
Yeah.
sometimes you just don't know what people are gonna say. It's the same reason when you get, let go, you don't get to stay on the air. Like, "What are you gonna say? I don't know." Right.
Yeah. Okay. So, yeah, please leave those questions in the comments. We will work on making more shorts. And then obviously, this will be evergreen. We do get notifications whenever people comment. So, at your leisure. Anything
Comment
else, Megan?
away. For me, no.
Oh,
No.
just please, Facebook friends, like and subscribe to our YouTube. Turn your notifications on so that you don't miss any updates when we do go live exclusively on YouTube and whatnot.
Oh, we're getting some suggestions. I'm
Oh, yeah.
excited about that.
Here's more.
Yeah.
I should pull this up just so that we remember them, right?
Yeah.
Markets. That's a good one.
Yep.
Paula Ferris, Jim Rose, Robin Mead.
Oh, interestingly enough, when I was down by my in-laws just after Christmas, my mother and father-in-law used to watch Robin Mead on headline news all the time. And they're like, and then she was just gone. She was gone. And they're like, we don't know what to do in the morning anymore. And I was like, we've had this conversation. It's jarring for the viewers too when
Is she
someone
not on now?
they don't think so. And quite honestly, I haven't checked. I maybe not.
I think she's great. She was at WKYC where I was too, and she was.
Yeah, she's always she's like very natural and very like real. And I think that, and the show was a format that I think a lot of people liked. But yeah, according to them, it's
I would say that would have to be her decision. If you have your name on a show and then you're gone, it's got to be your
not.
decision.
Maybe, but they do have some new management and stuff. So
Hmm.
I don't know.
Hmm.
We don't
Okay.
know. It's
Right.
it's worth a Google.
It's worth a Google. All right,
Yeah.
everybody. Happy little short video saying, please send us your questions. Bye, everybody. Bye, Megan.
Yeah. Bye.